Welcome back to the School of Port. Today we are going to be talking about the amazing Douro Valley terroir. Stay tuned to find out why it's so unique. The Douro Valley is a stunningly beautiful region that contains over half of the world's mountain vineyards. Almost entirely farmed by hand, it produces low yields of excellent quality grapes. Factors such as its microclimate, inclination, altitude and aspect, indigenous grape varieties, soil profile, various types of vineyard layout, as well as the careful way humans have shaped this region across centuries, have turned this breathtaking place into a wine paradise. But why is it so special? The region begins at about 80 kilometers inland from the coastal region and is sheltered from the Atlantic influence by the mountains of Alvão, Marão and Montemuro. A microclimate, or better, several microclimates are formed as a result of this natural barrier that shields the region from the Atlantic winds and typical rainfall. It is fair to say that the Douro has a climate of extremes, with temperatures pushing up to 40 to 45 degrees in the summer and sometimes dropping below zero in the winter, which is really not common in Portugal. There is also significant variation in rainfall, with up to 1200 millimeters in the Baixo Corgo in the west, compared with only 380 millimeters in the Douro Superior to the east. Generally, the south-facing bank tends to have hotter conditions than the north-facing bank, which is more shielded from the sunlight. Additionally, the altitude of plantation can range from 90 meters to 550 meters, and that means that we can have a variation in temperature of about 4 to 5 degrees. All this variation means that indigenous Douro grape varieties, and there are more than 100, tend to perform very differently according to where they are planted and what they are exposed to. Another important feature of the Douro's terroir is the schistous soil from which the vines grow. The soil is very low in organic matter, around 1.5%, and this means that each vine struggles to produce its fruit. Rich soils usually produce very poor quality wines, whereas rich and complex wines are generally produced in regions where yields are low and vines are required to reach much further down into the earth to access the water and the nutrients they need. The structure of the schist allows the water to drain deep into the subsoil where it is stored. The resulting humidity remains in this depth for weeks, and this allows the vines to survive despite very hot and dry conditions. Yields are very low and the grapes are very small, but they're also really concentrated in terms of color, flavor, aromas and tannins. The Douro produces no more than 3.5 tons per hectare, and this is considerably less when compared to the 7.6 in France, 12.3 in Northern Europe and 14.2 in the New World. The schist is also very important in terms of keeping the temperature more constant for the vines. It stores the heat during the day and then releases it during the night. Our grapes might not know exactly what time it is, but that constant source of heat allows ripening process to continue and helps to ensure the complete and balanced maturation of the grapes. If you look closely at the Douro's striking landscape, you'll see three main types of vineyard layout. The socalcos, or old terraces, which are pre-phylloxera and supported by dry stone walls, the patamars, which are post-phylloxera, modern terraces supported by earth ramps, and last but not least, the vinha ao alto, or vertically planted vineyards. These have no terraces at all and are only found on vineyards with a gradient less than 30%. This unique terroir, combined with centuries of human endeavor and ingenuity, has helped to create one of the most challenging and, more important, rewarding wine regions in the world. Back in 2001, it was even officially recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Once again, don't forget to stay tuned for new episodes at School of Port, brought to you by the Port Med people at Symington Family Estates.